what up, though? It is another Tuesday, and we got a lot of shit to talk about. It's going to be a slobber knocker in this motherfucker. This is knockouts and 3 counts. How the fuck y'all doing?
Doing well on this Tuesday, man. Ready to get it in the books, but doing well on this Tuesday.
Better
J-Bo,
now, man.
what about
Better
you,
now.
man?
Better now. We had a great weekend of MMA and wrestling. I'm pumped, man. Ready to talk about it all. What a weekend that was, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I saw that you had some new artwork there behind you. I need some of that, dude.
There it is, right there. Check that out. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm talking
about.
One
of these sides.
Hell yeah. What up, though, everybody that's tuning in? We are going to be talking about UFC 272, AEW Revolution, Stone Cold versus KO, Kayla Harrison to the PFL. There's a lot of shit to talk about. If you guys are in here and watching, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. If you've got any thoughts on any of those subjects or anything you want us to talk about, throw it in the comments. Yeah, man, we had quite the weekend with UFC 272. Obviously, there's a little bit of news to jump into too. Joey in the comments, how about the 3-game winning streak that the Pistons are on? Yeah. I see those Pistons at. Mm-hmm. Hey, bro.
Oh, Cade's rookie of the year, dog. He's putting on a hell of a performance, and he just keeps improving his game every chance
Sophia
he gets.
Checking in from Canada. I fucking appreciate you.
That, and for some reason I cannot think of the forward that we just picked up. That's been Marvin Bagley. He's been making a huge help on the Pistons. I think he's a big reason why we got that 3-game win streak. But I'm watching. I ain't just wearing the hat for no reason. Put it that way.
Chris, what's up, brother man? Like I said, we're talking UFC 272. We are going to be talking about AEW Revolution. We're going to be talking about Stone Cold and Wrestlemania. There's a lot of shit to talk about. We are doing well, although, like you in Canada, I want some warmer weather in this bitch. Yeah. It was 65 on Sunday, and it was fucking 34 on Monday. Michigan, stop it. Get your shit together.
On that 65-degree day that we had a high wind advisory because my dumbass tries to take the bike out on the highway and I'm getting blown sideways. Fucking
dumbass.
Hey, the only place you get all 4 seasons in 1 week, man.
You know?
Hey, I've said it before. Michigan has the most bipolar weather I've ever experienced in any state.
To your point, Kyle, it went from 65 Sunday to literal snow. It wasn't a accumulation, but it was snowing Monday. So very quick.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. We need spring ASAP. We need baseball ASAP. But hey, at least my part of the week.
Good luck.
I mean, hey. I'd like to see some baseball in the summertime, all right? Let's hope that they get some baseball together in the summertime. And if you're a baseball fan, make sure you check out our buddy Derek over there at Phoenix Sports. What up, no? Anyways.
You know what doesn't go on strike and never has an off season? Professional wrestling and MMA, baby. Yes. Let's go.
Well, MMA just doesn't go on strike because they don't have a union, but I'm just saying. Otherwise, I think they might have gone on strike a long time ago with what they're getting paid for. But hey, what do I know? Just saying. I'm just saying. Hey. Doesn't look like baseball's gonna happen anytime soon. Damn it, Sophia! Stop pissing on my parade.
I know.
What are you gonna do?
Stop pissing on my parade. But I know you're right. But all right. My part of the week's doing all right, other than the fact that I'm really upset that I just found out that I'm not going to get to do the shoey with Joel Bateman at the Murder City Death Cup because I got to get all 4 of my fucking wisdom teeth pulled out. All of you guys who are watching this, have you ever had your wisdom teeth pulled? Is there anything that I need to know? Is there any tips and tricks with this shit? Because, in other words, I feel like I'm about to get my ass kicked come next Thursday. That pretty much sounds like that's what's going to happen here. I got to get all 4 of them bitches yanked at once because mine are already pushing through the gums and through the front of my teeth. It's a great time. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a fun day for you. That's for sure.
No,
not.
So you're saying you don't think that I could get them done and then go do the shoey with Joel Bateman, huh?
I think you could. I just don't think the result would be
in
your best interest.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
My lip would be all fat, and it'd just be going down my lip and all down my shirt and shit.
like a yeast buildup in your gums.
It's just gonna leak down my shirt, just your lips like this, so it's just the slow drip down your lip.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, I probably don't want to do that. I'm just trying to get these motherfuckers out, and I'm glad that it's gonna all be over before Wrestlemania. It's almost time for Wrestlemania, and I'm going. But yeah, I'm just glad to get the fuck out of Michigan. Sophia, I know you've got plenty to say on the wrestling front, so please, I want to know. I want to know what you think of AEW. I want to know what you think of Stone Cold. I want to know what you think of all that. But we're gonna go in chronological order here. Saturday night was the UFC. We'll talk about that. I'm gonna go just through the main card because, to be honest with you, other than the main card, I don't know.
Yeah,
this wasn't the
only
most
other performance I really feel like pointing out in the prelims is Jalen Turner. He really stood out, man, in that last fight before the pay-per-view. But other than that, man, yeah, it was a great prelim, but necessarily like huge noteworthy bouts or standout performances, not so much.
Okay, so are we getting rid of Greg Hardy yet?
I would hope so. Right? I know. So I believe it was Brennan Schaub or Chael Sonnen, one of the two, because they did a little short breakdown of the pay-per-view together this week. But one of them was saying that, the experiment should be over, and the other one was saying that there's still definitely a chance that they re-sign him. I know that was the last fight on his contract, but, I mean, he does provide...
You really think he gets re-signed after that?
No, I don't, personally. I'm not saying he does, but what I'm saying is he does provide some type of layer of interest, whether good or bad. And I don't think he'll be making as much as he was, he was pretty substantially paid if they do decide to keep him around. But yeah, I don't see it being the case. I mean, he doesn't necessarily deserve it, especially after that performance. I mean, he was just taken down fairly easily and didn't show any real strive or any real pushback or anything like that, and even a real solid attempt to get up. I mean, granted, Sergey Spivak's a really good, with his top control and stuff like that, but he didn't even try. I mean, he just, he got mauled down there, and then, it looked like he was barely hit, like not barely hit, but he was, not to the point where he would be like concussive. And then they flash the camera back to him in 10 seconds, and he's swinging at ghosts in the air. So apparently he got pretty fucked up. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I agree. I think it should be over. But what do you guys think?
J-Bone, I'll let you go first.
I think it's time to go, man, to be honest. To be completely honest, I never really cared for the whole, transition from the NFL to the MMA stuff. I don't know. Unless you're Brock Lesnar. I mean, but he's a special type of guy, right? But
if it wasn't under the given circumstances, would you have felt the same way? It was because of the given circumstances that it bothered me so much, right? Like if it was like a Dominic Reyes, right? Somebody who may have not got to the level of a Greg Hardy, right? Greg Hardy was like a all-pro level and stuff like that.
Right.
But Dominic Reyes made NFL teams, played on practice squads and such. Didn't work out for him.
I think what it was for me initially is like dude comes in thinking he's a badass just because he played football. Like, don't get me wrong, you got to be pretty badass to play professional football. I understand that, but like MMA is a different world, dude. It's an elite level athlete that it's unmatched. There's nothing like it. So when you come in, you got all this hype, you talk all this shit, you better back it up. And to be honest, he hasn't. So maybe it's time for him to go.
And one thing we had noted on the show last week too, when we were breaking down the card, is his cardio. For somebody like you guys have both noted, for a elite level athlete and somebody of his, acclaim, I guess you could say, you would expect that he would work on that a little bit better. And to come in on fight week, coming at like 285, 290, and expecting to cut all that weight. And to be honest, for a guy his size, he didn't necessarily come in super jacked. He's just cutting a ton of water weight right before the fight. So it's not like he's super focused on improving that said issue with the cardio. So it's like, yeah, I think it's time.
He's not a guy that will miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, best of luck to him. Just, maybe later, I guess.
All right. So here's the thing. Now, again, ultimately, I believe that what somebody gets judged on in the UFC should be their fighting ability. And quite frankly, he hasn't done very well there either. But I wasn't the biggest Greg Hardy fan due to his outside the cage bullshit. And I'm just saying, I wasn't a fan of the stuff. Was what it was, but I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of the whole beating up women thing. Call it what you want. But hey, it's kind of funny. You grow up real close to your mom and you got a little sister, and it's funny how you just, you generally don't like to do those things. So, like I said, for me, I think the Greg Hardy experiment is over. Shout out to Sergey Spivak, but I think Greg Hardy might be getting wished well in his future endeavors. For any of you guys who are watching this, make sure you share it, like it, comment. Kathy, if you're in here, we need to know what you think of UFC 272. I know you're excited about Bobby Nash, who's going to be fighting here soon for XMMA. If you're here in the comments, let us know what you think. All right, the next fight we got a great debut at welterweight for Kevin Holland. I definitely got to give him credit there because I didn't know how he was going to do at 170, but I definitely thought that he looked energized. He didn't look sucked out. I don't know, man. I think 170 might be the move for Kevin Holland. Definitely a great debut in my opinion, especially against a guy like Cowboy Oliveira. Dude, that was, I don't know, great debut at 170. Do you guys want to see him stay at 170? What are your thoughts on Kevin Holland's debut at 170?
So watching him kind of do his follow-up interview with Ariel Helwani, he had noted how he wants to kind of continue his momentum that he tried to build back in, 2019 or 2020, when he was super active and came on that like 5-6 fight win streak or whatever. He wants to try to repeat that, and he said to be able to do that, he's not going to be able to stay consistently at 70. He wants to accept some short notice fights at 85. He wants to, keep the train a moving. And if that's the case, okay, cool. But realistically, he looked really good. He did suffer not a terrible first round, but he lost that first round in my opinion. So he dealt with some adversity at the new weight class. Cowboy was looking incredibly sharp. He was able to use his technique and his skills and stuff to outclass him at a point. So, I mean, and then once he was able to really kind of set him up with the leg kicks, man, he just instantly laid one hard one on him and put him down. So I think he's perfect for 170. You say he didn't look too sucked out. He said he made the weight class incredibly easy, but I was saying the opposite on Saturday. I was like, dude, you can see his where his back indents into his freaking hips and shit. Like he looked that weight thin. But
thin and sucked out are two different things, because if he were sucked out, he wouldn't have had the energy that he did. He wouldn't have been able to keep that energy going through the fight. That's why I said there's a difference. Okay, can he look like he just went through a weight cut? Sure, I can agree with you on that. But had he been sucked out and had that weight cut affected him that bad, he wouldn't have fought the way he did, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you could tell that he was.
That's why I don't think sucked out.
He was definitely fighting very clear and concise in there. Like even with the whole thumbs up at the end of the first round, like he was very aware of the moment and of all the situations that were presented. So shout out both Kevin Holland and Cowboy Oliveira, really, because I know he's on a pretty substantial losing streak himself, but I would hate to see him cut, man, especially with that performance he was able to put on in the first round. He's one of those fan favorites for a reason. So I hope he gets another chance for sure. But shout out Kevin Holland. He looks good at 70, and I'm excited to see who they match him up against next.
I agree with you. That dude, you were saying that on Saturday. You were saying you could just see even his facial structure, oh, what a difference the 15 pounds makes, man. But he other than that, he looked great. He was fast. He looked strong, man. I like to see that. I like fighters like that because one, he's entertaining, right? The dude talks through the whole fucking fight. That's pretty fucking funny. Two, it's I I know it's not the best for like, health wise, but I like seeing those guys just keep going and keep going and keep going. But, with tougher competition, longer medical suspensions, I don't know if he could keep that train rolling, man, once he gets some stiffer competition, because how it goes. You take one bad cut, you're done for what, 5 months, 6 months. So hopefully he can keep it rolling like that. I'd love to see it. So
hell yeah. That's why for me, I'd like to either see him stay at 170 or go to 85, because I don't think the bouncing between weight classes is smart for anybody. That's just
pretty fucking good divisions to be bouncing back and forth in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent.
If he does stay at 70, there's so many entertaining matchups that can be built up, and especially if he does continue to win those matchups, man. The further he gets towards the top, imagine him versus Leon Edwards, man. That would be an incredible striking match. And if Kevin Holland started to get outclassed, he would try to implement his wrestling and his weird grappling style that he, performs on people, man. And stuff like 70 would be a great weight class for him, in my opinion.
I would rather see him stay at 70 rather than bounce back and forth. But a guy who ain't bouncing anywhere is Bryce Mitchell. Hot damn. He beat the shit out of Edson Barbosa.
Bryce Mitchell, boy.
He beat the shit out of Edson Barbosa, dude.
When we started the show, I was listening, dude. It's awesome. It's better than I expected. It's like, you look at that guy, you just can't even imagine something like that, but good for him.
Dude,
man.
He was spitting on UFC embedded. Thug Nasty can get it done in the cage and on the mic.
Out of the cage, talking about that donation. That donation, man. I know Kyle, somebody that's worked with, children in unfortunate circumstances like that, being in hospitals and stuff. That's got to speak to somebody like you, man, willing to donate half his fight purse just to try to improve the health of young ones in Arkansas.
Big shout out to Bryce Mitchell. Like I said, no secret, I'm a Christian. I'm not perfect, but it's definitely something that I believe in, something that I go by. But I got to give big respect to a guy like Bryce Mitchell, who, even though his name is blowing up and all those things, if you watch those embeds and you watch leading up to that fight, that guy is more worried about helping other people and making an impact and using that name that he's building in the UFC to help other people. So I am a big fan, not only of the fighting ability of Thug Nasty, but as the whole package. And let me tell you, to do what he did against a guy like Edson Barbosa is nasty, dude. He's gonna have to get a tough fight next. I don't know who I think it's gonna be. All right, Lonnie Meadows. Hey, there you go, Jordan.
Hey, what's up, Uncle Lon?
I am super insanely curious to see who they do match him up with, man. There's yet again, we talk about matchups, man. 45 is full of matchup, especially with the likes of a Dan Hooker and stuff moving down to the division. Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Hooker or something along those, there's so many fucking matchups. Yeah. I mean, and to your point, Kyle, he's so entertaining both in and out of the cage. Some people may not love the grappling style. I am not one of those people. When people are able to control and just the subtle things he was able to do, try to wrap the legs up, or when Edson was able to try to post on a hand, he would immediately grab the wrist and pull the post up. He was country strong. He gave Edson Barbosa no room to breathe in there, man. Right. I mean, it was a really impressive fight. I would have liked to see him maybe chase the finish a little bit more, because he had Edson in such compromised positions so many times. But other than that, man, solid performance through and through, in my opinion.
Yeah, country strong like that, man, throwing those hay barrels around, dude. Hey, can't argue. Do put on a show, man.
Look, dude, he fucking
the fight purse he's tried to donate. Didn't Dana White tell him to keep it, and he was going to donate?
Dana White told him to keep his money that he was going to give. He would pay him out of his own money.
That's what's up, man. That's how you know you're in the boss's respect right there. That's how you know.
Hey, man, shout out to Dana for meeting that up, dude. That's dope. All right. Dos Anjos versus Moicano. Man, Rafael Dos Anjos beat the fuck out of Moicano. He whooped Moicano's ass, dude.
I was so when this fight got announced, I'm a fan of both of these guys. Definitely more so of RDA just because of what he's been able to prove throughout his career and stuff. And he's one of those guys that's just like, he's a fan favorite that just never turns down fights. As long as he doesn't get injured, man, he'll go in there with fucking anybody. And he showed that, being that he stepped in with Moicano on just like 4 or 5 days' notice. Somebody that, you know, looked bigger than him in the cage. Somebody who had a, you know, reach advantage, was basically a complete different type of style than what he was expecting with Fiziev. You know, Moicano was all hands and jiu-jitsu, where Fiziev was mostly kicks and, you know, more intricate striking game. And man, RDA was just able to implement his wrestling and ground control so good. To your point, Kyle, I don't think necessarily RDA was kicking his ass until he got it to the ground. In every round, once he got him to the ground, it was a completely different fight. It was
he
like
was
Moicano
landing some shots on this man, dude.
It was like Moicano had nothing for him on the ground. And I was genuinely surprised, because that's one of the things he showcased throughout his career is his slick ability to throw up
having skills on the ground
like
and being able to do that to a guy like RDA. There's levels to this shit, dude.
Yeah, and we definitely seen that on display. And, you know, shout out RDA for everything he was able to do in that fight. I think he was winning the striking, but once the takedowns were implemented, it was just a whole different ball game. But it cannot be understated, Moicano with his heart, he won that 5th round.
I'm not saying he's not
5th round, big time in my opinion, man.
I couldn't believe the fight I couldn't believe it went 5 rounds, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought that
it could have been stopped in the 4th round.
It could have been stopped, and I'd have had no argument, dude.
It could have, but in my opinion, if it was going to be, it would have been the doctor's responsibility or the corner. I feel like Mark Goddard did exactly as he was supposed to. He gave the fighter a chance to fight. Every time he
I'm not saying I'm mad they let him keep fighting. I'm just saying, man, he was fucking putting it on him, dude.
I feel like it needs to be stated that Mark Goddard did, you know, an excellent job in, you know, navigating that situation. He told Moicano in the beginning of the 5th, come out here and show me something in the next 30 seconds or this fight's over. And, you know, sure enough, he did, and he was able to complete the fight. But shout out both of those guys, especially Moicano on the short notice. I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah,
I got no argument there. I mean, shout out to Moicano, but man, RDA showed that, you know, he needs another top level fight or something, because man, there's levels to this shit, and he put it on Moicano. All right, man, let's talk about this main event. I was really looking forward to this one for obvious reasons. Again, MMA did pro wrestling better than pro wrestling does sometimes. But the fight went exactly how I said it was going to go. I said going into this, it went exactly how I said it was going to go. If Colby Covington is smart, he will not stand and bang with him for 5 rounds. And to give credit where it's due, he was on his feet longer than I thought he was going to, and he landed some shots. But that fight went how I thought it was going to. Colby was going to take him down, and Colby was going to beat him up. And George did a good job of defending it while he could. And, I mean, he landed good shots while he was on the feet. And I think he was obviously the harder hitter. But, I mean, Colby Covington did what Colby Covington needed to do and essentially cemented himself as the number 2. We'll talk about in a second who you want to see him fight next. But, I mean, overall, I mean, there's not really a lot to say in this one other than, I mean, Colby did what everybody kind of thought he was going to do. I mean, Masvidal went in there and tried to fight him. He just, like he said, he's like, I still don't like him, but the bitch can wrestle. So that's literally his words, not mine. Go ahead.
What are you going to do?
In my opinion, though, he did more than just wrestle. I mean, you had kind of noted on it there, Kyle. Like, in my opinion, other than the one solid strike that made Colby go down to his knee for just a 1/10 of a second and pop back up. Other than that, I felt like Colby won the striking exchange throughout the majority of the fight. I mean, there was a couple moments where Jorge would land a solid shot and have Colby on the back foot for just 1 or 2 steps, but 90% of the time, it was Colby's pressure in his face, and his just volume punches were just landing left and right on Jorge. I was genuinely surprised with how good Colby did in the striking game against Jorge. I thought that was going to be like the real test of the fight, and Colby definitely passed it, in my opinion.
I agree. What'd you think, J-Bone?
I agree with you, man. I mean, like you said, you called it how it was going to go, man. He implemented his wrestling. You know, Masvidal, we always thought he was going to throw that one big shot. You know what I mean? And it just never got. He did get that one. It was like a 4th or 5th round. He dropped him, I think, for a minute.
Yeah,
it was like a jab or something. He put him on his ass for a second. Kobe just kind of smiled at him, but
he actually dropped him twice, but they were just like flash knockdowns.
He did what he had to do, though. He used his wrestling. Clearly, he's the superior wrestler, man, and it worked out for him. So, no money winning on that fight, that's for sure. Not for me. Anyway.
I mean, shit, and you were trying to bet the come up. I mean, if you were betting, I mean, I told you which way to go on that one.
Hey, man, you said scared money don't make money or whatever you said.
I did say scared money don't make no money, but
I was chasing the underdog money, and it just, luckily I don't bet that.
Who were you guys betting on? UFC 272. We are almost through UFC 272. We got a couple of headlines in the MMA world to talk about. But AEW Revolution, we've got Stone Cold. We got a lot of wrestling stuff to come here in a second.
Must be a dumb son of a bitch.
I mean, you got to be a dumb son bitch to call out Stone Cold in Texas. I'm just saying. You got to be a dumb son bitch to call out Stone Cold in Texas. That's the way to catch a stunner. I'm just saying.
Right.
But all right. So we talked about UFC 272. It looks like Colby is trying to call his shot against Dustin Poirier.
Fuck it.
I really don't know.
Dude. 2 thumbs down.
I mean,
the fucking, not only just the fight, I have a huge issue with the fact of, like, if Dustin Poirier is going to make his way to 70, why the fuck are you, as the #1 contender in the division, calling him out? You know, I'm a big fan of Dustin. I love Dustin, but if he wants to make that decision to move up, allow him to make his calls, if you know what I'm saying.
But at the same hand, though, is DP not allowed to have his chance at a grudge match like Masvidal just got? Because Masvidal wasn't ranked like that either.
Yeah, but my whole issue is not necessarily the fight, right? The fight isn't so much the issue. If somehow that did materialize and become
it's just that the UFC rankings are showing that they're shit again.
No, the fact that he called out his wife, he called out his daughter, he called out everything you possibly could in the dirtiest of fashion. Like, I usually am like, Colby shit talk, I kind of like let it ride the edge of, like, the gray line is pretty high for me, if you know what I'm saying. This one was well into the darkness, man. That call out was as bad as it fucking gets. And, you know, if that's the case, that's why I hope that fight does get made. I like Colby's skills and stuff, but, man, it'd be nice to see Dustin smack him up after saying some shit like that. So, boy,
would that be a fucking disaster for Colby, though, if he does fight DP and DP comes in and beats him. That would be, dude, that'd be bad. That's the fight I want to see next for Colby, but fuck, man. I mean, Colby's really in a holding pattern because, like, okay, even if Colby goes in there and beats up Dustin's not ranked, so you can't give him another title shot right away. And then who does he fight next? You can't give him. If I'm Leon Edwards, I'm telling you, fuck off. I'm not taking that fight.
Well, that's supposed to be already the next fight up is Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman.
It better be
International Fight Week. So
yeah,
that one's all but supposedly announced, barring Kamaru Usman's hand healing up properly.
Hey, it better be. So for me, that's what I want to see. I don't know what I want to see from Masvidal yet because he said he's still got to go back and reevaluate and see what he's got next. Unless he's going to fight Nate Diaz again or something like that, I don't know off the top of my head. That's
where I was leaning as well, as maybe like a Nate Diaz as well, because
unless it's one of those
such a weird spot in his career right now. He's such a fan favorite, but coming off of the losses to the 2 top guys in his division doesn't mean he can't still get wins. It doesn't mean he still can't be really great in the a really great fighter at the top of 170. But losing to 1 and 2 like that and now 3 fights in a row. It's just not a good look. I don't know who they put him up against, honestly. Like maybe Wonder Boy or some shit. Like that would be a fun match.
Yeah, maybe, but that's at 170. But all right. So we talked about what's next for Colby. We talked about what's next for Masvidal. You want to know who I feel like got a raw deal and like there's nothing for her? Kayla Harrison re-signs to the PFL. From what I hear, PFL matched the offer that Bellator gave. And so that's how she ended up still in PFL. But man, you go back to PFL, who the fuck is there for her to fight?
I point this out every time because I'm a Julia Budd fan. Other than Julia Budd, that's the only one there that's a
Kayla Harrison will fuck her up too.
I agree, but she did put on a.
I feel bad saying that because no disrespect to Julia Budd, but I'm sorry, I don't see anybody not named Cyborg or Amanda Nunes.
So let me get this straight. So they matched an offer that was made by.
So Bellator, from I don't know numbers, but Bellator offered a substantial offer. PFL matched that offer. So in turn, because PFL matched that offer, she's going to stay with PFL.
So we're thinking pretty good money for flatter competition type of thing. Is that?
I think the UFC backed themselves out of the race, and then it was down to Bellator, and
it was a contract clause where PFL had the right
to match it.
So it's kind of like one of those restricted free agent type things.
Yeah. Okay. She was a free agent as long as
just PFL like in baseball. We were talking about baseball earlier. A team can match the offer that's given. That's basically what happened. That's how she ended up in PFL.
To your point, Kyle, is it definitely unfortunate? Yes. Ariel Helwani had posted a tweet saying that Cyborg's contract was upcoming midsummer or early summer. I forget exactly his wording on that. But so she's likely only got 1 fight left on her deal. Maybe PFL makes a move towards signing Cyborg so we can see that.
Oh, the hell
would be under the PFL banner. That would be amazing. But the chances of that happening are very slim because Kayla Harrison's going to be in the season, and I doubt they're going to bring in Cyborg as like a midway point through the season to fight their main star. So maybe later in the year after the tournament, I don't know, but it sucks if you're Kayla Harrison. She did a huge interview on Ariel Helwani's show, breaking down kind of like before the official result had came out, but alluding to it the whole time. And it's unfortunate for her career, man. I mean, it really is. She's at that stage where seems as though she's ready to prove herself against the top level talent across, all the brands of MMA. And with what happened with the whole PFL matching, as much as I love watching PFL and their stuff's entertaining, they don't have the level of competition needed for somebody.
And they just don't do it's not even just the competition, dude. Like, everyone can say what they want about them being on ESPN, but ultimately, numbers don't lie. PFL is not doing numbers. And now they're saying they're going to switch to a pay-per-view model. Look, bro, if I'm over here just got done saying that the UFC half the time, the pay-per-views they've been putting out are like iffy on whether I want to pay that money. No disrespect, but PFL outside of Kayla Harrison, Ray Cooper, Rory McDonald, but even Rory McDonald's already lost too. I mean, to be honest, Showtime they don't really have a lot of names in the PFL that are really making me say, hot damn,
Stevens.
I would love to see. I would love to see. I love seeing Heathen fight.
Man. There's really no pay-per-view drawing power there, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think to your point, Kyle, I think they only plan on doing that for their $1 million, their $8 million a night or whatever the hell they call it.
Maybe, but we'll see, because I just don't see the power.
If with the numbers that were reported on their last multi-million-dollar night and everything, that's supposed to be their show cap, crowning event of the year, and their numbers.
I think all those big names losing hurt them.
Maybe, and I think I think they were hoping it would help build up the guys that did end up winning the divisions and stuff, but I don't think that was necessarily the case. And yeah, you might be right in that. And what I was going to say though is the pay-per-view model, unless they plan on charging like $15-$20 or something, I don't know how well it's going to do for them with the numbers they were getting before.
It's like Jimmy said. Jimmy Smith, who also happens to be a past guest of the show. Hey, you might have heard him on Monday Night Raw on Monday. He was talking about it today as well, man. Like, look, dude, it didn't work out very well for Bellator either. That's why Bellator's on Showtime now. Pay-per-view didn't work out for any of them not named UFC pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, even with Bellator, it was like a super rarity for them to do a pay-per-view.
But that's what I'm saying, though. It did,
and then they would try
to
super stack it, and you would still, to your point, Kyle, you would hear like, "Oh, the event drew 120,000 buys or some shit," and you're like, "Oh, that's for all the production value and everything that all the athletes and everything that they're doing this on. Like a rough UFC won 300,000 or something. So it's like, yeah." It's not always great on the other side.
All right, well, let's put a cap on the MMA side of things. A pay-per-view that went down this weekend that I think had no problem doing buys this weekend was AEW Revolution. And Sophia from Canada, where the fuck you at? Here we go. We're talking wrestling. I need to know, what did you guys think of AEW Revolution? Because I, for one, okay, so I was talking to Devin about this, who ring the bell. Devin can't say he's not going to be at WrestleMania because guess what, bitch? Yes, you are. Anyway, I agree with you. The long AEW pay-per-views can totally get... See, there you go, and right on cue. AEW Revolution was amazing. All right, well, I'm going to need your commentary and your thoughts as we go to break down these matches. All right. I agree with you. I really did think that AEW from top to bottom was a really good show. I really do. And even to go along with that, so I self-admittedly, like I said, their pay-per-views sometimes seem a little bit long. But, after thinking about it afterwards, I don't have a problem with them being that long, and here's why. AEW does the old, wrestling model where you do 4 pay-per-views a year. So it's not like you're getting a pay-per-view every month like you do with WWE. And if they can continue to keep doing like they're doing now and build the stories going into it to where there's genuine hype going into a pay-per-view like it was like that, I got no problem with it. And I mean, I have to say, I thought that as we got towards the end of that pay-per-view, that meant some of those matches were going to be cut short, but it didn't. And they still lived up. Even all the way down 4 hours into the show with Adam Cole versus Hangman Page. And shout out to Adam Cole. That Halo gear was fucking sick. Yes. The Master Chief gear was fucking sick. I'm just saying, all you needed was the battle rifle and we'd have been all right. But that shit was sweet. I'm just saying, if you didn't like it, fuck you, Master Chief rules. All right, Sophia, my 3 favorite matches: Mox versus Danielson, hard-hitting action. Love William Regal's debut, slapping them and getting them to smarten up, shaking hands. I agree. What did I say before we started here? By far, one of my favorite matches. We're gonna all tell you our favorite matches. I guess that's a good place to start. Okay, so for me, my 3 favorite matches at AEW Revolution were, I really liked Mox versus Danielson. That was really good to me. The storytelling into it. And then to have William fucking Regal, who they both have a relationship with like that. And then to have Regal come out and getting Mox's face covered with blood and fucking headbutt him, like getting his shit. Like, look, bitch, listen to me. I love it. William Regal is like the nicest guy you'll ever meet, but I just know that I wouldn't want to fuck with William Regal.
Right. Legit badass.
Dude, like Corey, like this is 100% shoot too. The guy ended up growing up fighting in the streets in Liverpool from where he came from in England. Like that was a thing. They, like, it's like the gypsy gypsy people. They fight out in the street, shit like that.
People. Gypsy King.
No, no. The like in England. Yes, yes, he fought out in the streets and shit like that at the carnivals and stuff like that. So William Regal is a tough son of a bitch. I'm just saying. So yeah, shout out to William Regal. Hot damn, I am really, really, really excited to see what happens. Like I said, my 3 favorites were Mox, Danielson. I loved the dog collar match. I loved the details in that shit, dude. From CM Punk coming out to AFI. That was so dope. And coming back with the gym shorts and all that shit, I fucking loved it. And then to have Wardlow fuck over MJF after he won the Face of the Revolution ladder match, son of a bitch, I can't wait to see what we see with Wardlow. And for my 3rd favorite match of the night, I was going to say Eddie Kingston versus Jericho. But hot damn it, on cue. I just said I was going to say Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. But my other favorite will go to the main event with the world title for Hangman and Adam Cole. All right, J-Bone, 3 favorite matches. Get ready and go.
Well, number 1, the dog collar match. Like you said, dude, detail-wise, story-wise, the build-up, the payoff, the blood, the entrance. There was nothing bad about that match at all.
I can just hear
it. Even the Wardlow, ending when he came out, all he did. Think about all he did. Literally, all he had to do was sit that ring on the apron there, and that crowd went crazy. Let's
talk about how much better he's gotten, though, dude.
That's the result right there. That is the result of good storytelling, dude. That is a clear result of great storytelling in wrestling right there. All he had to do was sit that ring right there, do nothing. All he said was, oops, and the crowd went fucking crazy. Awesome moment. My 2nd favorite match, it would definitely have to be Mox versus Danielson. Like you said, throw William Regal in that mix, dude. That was incredible to see Regal. I always pride myself on more. Like I'm never. Oh, you can't get nothing by me in wrestling, right? I've been watching this for years. When Regal walked out, dude, I legit
see Sophia. Right, that's why I'm glad you're watching. See, she caught all the little details. Hot damn it!
Look, when Regal walked out and they put the camera on him, I legit stood up right here at this desk. I stood up like, yes, dude. Not a lot of moments get me like that, but that did. Seeing William Regal back on TV is it's better. It's best for pro wrestling. Let me just tell you that.
Okay. So now I get to throw this at you because I got to give you what my thoughts were with William Regal coming out. And Sophia, I need you to chime in. So if you guys paid attention and you saw what Tony Khan said in the after show media scrum, he said they asked him what his plans for Ring of Honor going forward were going to be. Was it going to be just acquiring the tape library? Are you going to have another show? What are you going to do? He said he fully intended to keep the wrestling going and he wanted Ring of Honor to continue its presence. Now, with that being said, after Moxley versus Danielson, I've said this multiple times, so if you hear it anywhere else, motherfucker, you heard it here first. Anyway, what if now that Ring of Honor is supposed to be coming back, you got a guy like William Regal is back. What if, and remember what Mox and Danielson said coming into this. Mox said, I can't be a team with nobody I haven't bled with first. They fought. They bled. They shook hands after it. And now you've got Ring of Honor coming back. You got arguably one of its biggest stars of all time, Bryan Danielson. And you got the perfect, I feel like what would be the perfect foil for like a general manager type figure, in that Ring of Honor was always known for its wrestling, for it being hard-hitting style. Who exemplifies that better than William Regal? And if they're going to turn this into some kind of faction or another brand or whatever the fuck that's going to look like, could you imagine if Mox and Danielson go over there to head up Ring of Honor and like basically declare it's them versus, they're going to make Ring of Honor, whatever they call the name for it, whether it stays just Ring of Honor or it ends up being like Ring of Honor, whatever, insert name here. Dude, with those two at the head of Ring of Honor with fucking Regal as the like figurehead, dude, son of a bitch. And you got to figure in that company, I was listening to Busted Open. If you guys hear this, shout out Bully Ray, shout out Ryan McKinnell, shout out Dave LaGreca, but they had Kerry Silkin from Ring of Honor on there today. And he said it best, dude. You've got fucking CM Punk over there. You got Bryan Danielson. You've got, you could literally go down a list. You've got the Bucks. You've got the Bucks now that they've got Ring of Honor. You got the Briscoes, who everybody still wants to see them fight FTR. Son of a bitch.
Endless possibilities, dude. Endless.
Now, what I want to pose a question to you guys following this,
okay,
because with everything kind of being speculated with how it's going to go going forward and how the whole roster and everything's going to be built and such, would you guys be opposed to if they did it as like a second brand but just completely meshed rosters where it was just completely interchanged at all times? Because we bring up all the time on the show, right, with the whole Raw and SmackDown thing, how you guys just wish it was, a universal champ. It was all just kind of built up towards the top and stuff. Do you want to see them still go about splitting things up there? Or would you rather it's kind of all be towards one, larger goal, I guess you could say?
Good question, J-Bone. I'll let you go first.
It's hard to say, man. With the prestige that Ring of Honor carried, it's kind of hard to just throw them in the mix with AEW. Like we could say, hey, this is AEW Ring of Honor on Tuesday night or whatever. Like it's going to be hard to do that. You know what I mean? Like because of the history with them. You know what I mean? Because all you got to do is throw CM Punk on Ring of Honor TV, and then that brings back the nostalgia. Imagine if Samoa Joe walks into that place,
dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
they're just going to have so much.
It's not something
they're going to
fans
have so much more
go,
signing power too now. The signing power is going to be night and day difference compared to what they had before. With the backing of Tony Khan. So,
I would love to see it as. Realistically, I'd love to see it as a separate brand. But let's be honest, when the same guys running two different brands, no matter how far you try to keep them apart.
But let's not forget though, a separate brand. A separate brand doesn't necessarily mean it's got to be like Raw versus SmackDown.
Right.
You could have Ring of Honor be a separate show and then just say, okay, Ring of Honor is where you're going to see all of the best pure wrestlers in AEW, because that's what Ring of Honor was known for. Because here's the other thing you got to take into effect. If you do that, we've been talking about for how long that there's so many guys on the AEW roster that aren't getting used. Now you take a guy, dude, you could literally go down that roster with how many people they've got there. There's really there's
you could
so
probably
many.
Take that roster right now and split it in half and have a
really
whole separate show.
And
you really could.
That's why I kind of brought that question up, is because when the signing was initially announced, Kyle, when I think we were maybe talking over Xbox or whatever the case be, but whenever we were having our first initial conversation about it, that was the first thing I said was there's going to be so much more chances for these guys that are maybe buried, behind a couple of their stars that they're promoting right now, maybe dust off a couple of these dusty books, and pull them off
And I also think it creates so many opportunities for super shows and different types of. I think about the guys they're sitting out there. Look at Shane Taylor Promotions, dude. Those guys are sitting there waiting their turn, getting matches. You got GCW people that are in and out.
Waiting their turn. Shit. Speaking of Shane Taylor Promotions, make sure you're following the homie Shane T. But Shane T's got him a hell of a fucking match coming up too.
I personally thought
Low Key. Hot damn.
I personally thought him and that whole group would have been picked up instantly, dude.
Khan's already been wrestling over there, dude. Right. So shit.
Maybe we were right all along when we were posing the question that maybe some of these guys on the roster got like a heads up that something was still in the works.
Well,
and,
here's another thing I heard.
Maybe don't go sign a big exclusive contract if you feel like you still have a potential future.
So am I hearing right that some of those contracts are still under contract? Like people are still getting paid till after WrestleMania around that time? Is that what I heard?
No, everybody's contracts were basically up. No, pretty much everybody's contracts are out by, I think it was March. I don't know if it was March 30. I don't remember the exact date, whether it was March 1st or March 31st, but sometime in March, all contracts that had anything to do with Ring of Honor were gone. The majority of them were done at the beginning of the year. I know there were a few that were supposed to come up in March. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So come March 31st, we're saying that Tony Khan actually only owns the video library and the trademark of Ring of Honor at that point, right?
He essentially right now, as it sits, Tony Khan owns the name. He owns there you go. I believe it's March 31st. That's what I think too. Okay. Facts. So right now, what Tony
Sophia, thank you.
I love it. See, this is why I love when people
coming in the clutch, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. But yeah, as of right now, Tony Khan really only owns the name and the tape library. But that being said, Tony Khan also said after AEW Revolution that he has every intention of keeping it a wrestling product. Because if you notice, even when he announced that he bought Ring of Honor, he was all but crying when talking about he was all but crying when talking about what it meant to him to get Ring of Honor. So I'm really excied to see what happens with that.
Dude. That's a big
as far as the match, I agree with you 100%, Sophia. It was by far one of my favorite matches of the night. And like I was saying before we went live on the air, like Miesha Tate, shout out Ryan McKinnell. I'll see you in Vegas, my guy. But Miesha Tate was just saying that was the first time she'd really seen Mox go, and they were fucking each other up. And even like she said, even if you were trying to place those with the force that they were throwing that shit, they were going, dude. And the submission transitions, and bro, like I said, that's why that was one of my top matches of the night. Like that shit was a banger from the story to and then when you add a guy like William Regal, son of a bitch, even if they don't go to Ring of Honor, I was just throwing that out. Even if it's just going to be another faction, could you imagine a faction with those two in it and then William Regal's at the helm of it?
Right. Man, even just having William Regal behind the curtain somewhere, dude, that was probably the smartest acquisition that they could have had just now. Out of all the talent out there, and don't get me wrong, no disrespect to any of the talent out there, there's tons of it, but William Regal might have been the smartest pickup that AEW just got. That was huge.
Bro, how the fuck WWE let him go is just mind-blowing to me.
I mean, Kyle, like when I first started doing the show and stuff with you guys and had to gain some knowledge of the wrestling world and stuff, and had watched some of I believe it was one of the NXT shows that we were watching together. And you were saying how he did such a great job of bringing talent in. He was just the best talent scout in the game, in your opinion, I believe is what you said at the time.
I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best.
And so for them to be able to acquire somebody like that, who I'm sure didn't let those connections dry up in a short, leave of absence in the wrestling world. So yeah, definitely a good move in my opinion.
He left his mark in NXT, dude, and people know that. The guys that matter the most who were there, they seen that and they knew what they got from William Regal. That's why he's so highly respected in the wrestling business, dude. They knew what he had.
Bro, I'm with you. Well, we talked about one of our favorite matches. We talked about Mox versus we talked the dog collar match as well, dude. I mean, dude. Like I said, the storytelling was great. So we've covered 2 out of most of our 3 favorite matches. Another one that I've got to throw out is one that I think did a lot for somebody. Jericho versus Kingston, bro.
Dude.
Like, for him to submit Jericho.
Yeah, when you talk about matches of the total on the night that maybe did the most for somebody's individual career, it's probably that one in particular.
Yeah,
for Kingston.
Yeah. I think that Matt and I love Eddie Kingston, man. But if anybody knows me personally, Jericho's the GOAT, bro. That's the Tom Brady of wrestling right there. You know what I mean? But and yeah, I would go as far as to say Jericho is probably the one that had the entire idea of that match, dude. I wouldn't doubt it. From Kingston going over to match placement to the way it ended, I bet that Jericho was the mind behind that entire match, because we all know Jericho opens the doors for guys, opportunities like that, dude. And that was literally, you take that same match and put it later down in the card, I don't think you would have had the same like feel for
Jericho's not stupid, dude. Jericho can see
the great lines in wrestling.
Okay, Corey, and you're a good person to talk about this as well. Like, I mean, let's be honest, bro. Like, Jericho is not stupid. There's a reason why a lot of people think that he's one of the GOATs of wrestling.
Tom Brady.
Do you really think that Chris Jericho didn't hear what we all heard in Chicago when Eddie Kingston came out, when they were the first match on All Out and that crowd lost its fucking mind for Eddie Kingston? Yeah. Dude, he had one of the best pops of that whole show. Yeah. That's including the debut of CM Punk in AEW.
And there's arguably, that's one thing, yet again, I hate to keep, harping back to it, but, getting my footholds into the wrestling world and stuff, there really isn't anything bigger in the wrestling world than either getting a positive or a negative pop. That is the single biggest thing that you can have as a professional wrestler, really, is because that means the fans care about what you're doing. Yeah. And to your point, Kyle, I mean, it really was like, it was probably top 3, even with like the announcements on the night, the CM Punk, the Bryan Danielson, everything.
Adam Cole.
Yeah. Like there was so much built into
that
show. But to your point, Kingston, and it was in an early matchup. It was like the second or third match of the night. It wasn't even like
it was the first match.
I believe we missed the first one.
No, we did not. We did not. That was number 1.
Well, even more so than the curtain jerker, and he got one of the biggest pops. So yeah, very valid point.
Yeah. And you always hear that, like, the start of a show sets that mood, and man, them motherfuckers came out hot that night, and they came out hot at AEW Revolution. And for him to get a submission win, that's gnarly. What were your thoughts on Kingston versus Jericho? Since I know you liked, you were a big fan of that match, J-Bone.
Dude, the match was great. Like I said, I think the placement of the match was smart as hell, dude. Because when that show started, obviously that crowd's red hot, dude. The AEW crowds are perfect for that type of match, dude. That match was hard hitting, a lot of storytelling, a lot of like. Wasn't really like your classic wrestling match. I mean, that was a fight, dude. Anything with Eddie Kingston.
Not at all, dude.
Fight. And that's what I love.
And let's not forget, bro, like Eddie Kingston trains an American Top Team.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston has fought in kickboxing fights.
Yeah, I was Eddie Kingston gave me that like strong style vibe kind of thing.
Well, that's his whole thing. Like, he talks about it. Like, old school Japan wrestling is what he came up on. And let's call it what it is, dude. Eddie Kingston is not like your fucking stereotypical technical wrestler, dude. Like, he gets in there and fucking fights people. And look, dude, I thought that match delivered, and I think that was the big win that Eddie Kingston has been needing for a long time.
I like Eddie Kingston because we can all relate to Eddie Kingston. You know what I mean? He's a everyday average normal guy who just can fight.
Who's fighting his demons. Like, the promo he cut about his depression alone was fucking fire.
Yes, unbelievable.
My big thing is the way he approached the subject, right? A lot of people, they approach the subject in like a sappy, sad way, I guess you could say, where they're like, oh, life's so hard. I've had to deal with this. I've had to deal with. Like, his way was like, no, fuck everything I dealt with. I'm using all that as the fuel to my fire to where I'm going. Like, the way he went about it was just,
well, right. And he ain't making excuses. And he said he deals with it every day. Like, I think that's the kind of shit that we need in America, especially with what's going on. All right. Next, we had two guys who, hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that motherfucking subscribe button, especially if you're watching on YouTube, because, hey, we've interviewed your AEW Tag Team Champions, Jurassic Express, both Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Hey, check them out. But, yeah, dude, they retained the title as they took on Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish, and drawing a blank. And then they faced the Young Bucks. What the fuck? How did I forget the Young Bucks? What the fuck? Wow, how did I forget?
Having a long night over here, man. He's having a long night.
There, I got the pose right though. Got the biceps.
You made up for it.
Yeah, man. But that was a banger of a match. I think the right team won that one. Mm-hmm. Especially, and Sophia, I want to know what you think. But here's the thing. The other little nugget that I think is like the biggest thing of all this whole shit, like it was a great match, but the fact that we had Don Callis's snake ass come out there for Kenny Omega, and then to have like the back and forth between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, I'm saying it right here, right now. It's going to be Red Dragon and Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega and the Bucks when they come back. The battle of the motherfucking elite, maybe, I think, is
maybe at the old Double or Nothing pay-per-view.
Ring the bell! We gonna be in that bitch.
We gonna be in the house.
We gonna be in that bitch. I'm coming to Vegas. That was a good match. The whole show is fantastic. You can't go wrong with any of these matches. I agree with that completely. I think the right team won. I think they're trying to build that up. Like I said, I'm telling you, especially with the way AEW has shown that they can do storytelling, dude.
Yeah.
I think we're in. Think about that. Think about the two teams that you've got there. And here's the side story that I want everybody to not forget. Let's not forget that when Adam Cole went to WWE, to NXT, who was it that killed Adam Cole? Come on, J-Bone.
It was
who was
Kenny.
it that
it was
Kenny? You got it right. Who killed fucking Adam Cole? It was Kenny. Damn it, Kenny. So you've got that added, thing with it. You know what I mean? Like you already kind of saw the beef between them when they were all
storytelling. We love it, man. You love it.
See? Look at there. See? Hot damn. Like I said, that I am very much looking forward to that. But as far as the match, dude, a banger of a tag team match. Again, I think the right team won on this one. Again, entertaining as shit. Like Sophia said, there's really not a match on this card where I was like, that kind of sucked. And as we'll talk about as we get a little bit later into the card, man, there were a few matches where I really thought that could really be the case because it was like they were running short on time. You know what I mean? Like, so, or at least it seemed like they were. Now, this next match, I've got to clap a little bit because with all the big ass dudes that were in that ladder match, man, this match could have been clunky as a motherfucker with that many big dudes and ladders. And yeah, that could have been really clunky, but I have to say, go ahead.
The way Orange Cassidy took that fall, part of it was a little clunky, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one to the outside, yeah, that looked like it sucked a little bit. Hey, but did he not have one of the best spots in that entire match where he did the whole skin the cat on the ladder when Wardlow and Keith Lee were holding the ladder up, dude? It's hard to come by stuff you never seen in a ladder match, dude, and that was super cool, man.
It's a good way of doing something where it's like he used his size to get over on the big guys.
Yes.
I mean, I got no problem with shit like that.
Awesome,
that's called using your brain. Mm-hmm. That's called using your brain.
Yeah. That type of stuff is the one reason. There's not too many wrestlers that I call myself a fan of. That's one of the few reasons, why I'm a fan of his. I bring it up every time. Kyle had brought up, you're going to like this guy. He's entertaining. He keeps his hands in his pockets. He makes things different. And I'm like, What the fuck, dude?
That's exactly what it is, man. It's different.
But no, he really does. He makes it different, and that's what's entertaining about it. Is he makes it very different every time he's involved in the match. So
a lot of cool stuff in that match too, man.
Freshly squeezed.
Looking at the screen, dude, and seeing Keith Lee in the ring with those guys, dude. He is so damn big, dude. He is just like. I mean, obviously we see he's big. We see him on TV, but like you see him next to these other guys, it's like, holy shit, dude. Like for what that guy can do in the ring, oh my God, that guy's a beast of a man. I thought what I did think was cool in that match, though, besides the whole ladder stuff, everything with the ladder, we got to see Danhausen. That was another thing.
Very nice. Very evil.
That's my dog, dude. I love Danhausen. Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, Danhausen, if you hear this, you're from Michigan, damn it. We need to have you on the fucking show. I'm just saying, we need to have that happen. But I want to talk about what Sophia just said.
Give him your wisdom teeth, Pat.
Here, I'll give you a wisdom tooth. Hey, that just tells you, I mean, hey, where I come from, the tooth fairy might bring you good luck. So I'll give you my tooth, and maybe that'll give you some good luck. But hey, what she said, hey, that's what she said. But hey, man, what she said with the Wardlow thing, oh my God, could they have not had a better pick? You know, honestly, I was wondering if he would win, but man, has Wardlow, in my opinion, really come around in the last couple months. And the little stuff that you saw, like, dude, he is a fucking freak of nature, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God. This dude is like stupid strong. Any guy that can powerbomb a man 10 times in a row and just do it ad nauseum. Like, I mean,
no problem.
Fuck, they call him the master of mayhem for a reason, but son of a bitch. Boy, am I really excited. I'm really excited to see where Wardlow goes forward, especially with what we saw in the dog collar match with him and MJF. You know, we've seen Sean Spears really kind of like disrespecting Wardlow for a minute, and then for him to come down after winning the Face of the Revolution match. Now, by winning the Face of the Revolution match, he's already got a guaranteed TNT championship match. And for him to come down there after he's already guaranteed himself a title shot, and then to come down there with Max, oh shit, I can't find the ring. Oh shit. And then just to lay it out there ever so soft like that, dude, mark my words, whenever it happens, Wardlow versus MJF is going to be badass.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to just see Wardlow versus MJF. Looking forward to that match. I just want to see Wardlow just beat the shit out of everybody in the Pinnacle.
Maybe it'll be at Double or Nothing.
Hey, ring the bell. We'll be there. But you got to make sure you hit subscribe because you never know what might show up on those vlogs, man. I'm just saying. But yeah,
real quick, since you guys do keep bringing up the fact that you guys will be at the next AEW pay-per-view, is that's got to be one of the more entertaining things, right? As a wrestling fan, when you know that you're like Kyle, you allude to all the time, going to Wrestlemania, you know, like you watch all these storylines and stuff being built up, and especially with AEW just coming off the pay-per-view. Kyle had alluded they only do so many shows throughout the year. It's got to be cool to watch like the initial snowball kind of start to roll down the hill of what you're going to see splayed out through when you do end up going to the match.
Oh yeah,
dude. Like honestly, like in my opinion, like with wrestling, a perfect wrestling storyline has just as much to do with what you do to build up the match as you do what you're going to see in that match. And like I said, that I think was, even though, I mean, it was a bloody war, I think that was why most of us loved the dog collar match so much. Yeah. Because there were so many little details in there, dude. And like Sophia said, like, dude, just for it to start at the entrance, for him to come back in his old gym shorts. When's the last time you saw that motherfucker wear gym shorts?
Right.
And then
I love all that shit, dude. The callbacks, the Ring of Honor. And
yes.
Incredible storytelling, dude.
And it's crazy because you never know what's going to end up making it to that point, or what's going to pop off right before then, so that it like keeps it fresh. And that's the one cool thing I see, especially if you're a live attendee of some of these pay-per-view events, for sure.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. All right, Jade Cargill versus Tay Conti.
Oh.
Now, okay, Sophia, I need the female perspective on this one, because I'm gonna tell you, Jade coming out in that Mortal Kombat gear, boy. I was already watching anyway. I'm just saying, I was already watching anyway. Tay Conti was not hard to look at either, although her war paint reminded me of something out of like the House of Black and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if like she was about to like team up with the House of Black. He's right. He said that match was a love letter to pro wrestling. It fucking was.
Yes.
I agree. Especially because he got so emotional after the show, just at the fact that all of his work in Ring of Honor wasn't going to just go down the hole. So I completely agree with that. All right. As far as this match, what are your thoughts on this one, Sophia? What did you think of Jade Cargill versus Tay Conti? For me, Jade has looked awesome. I mean, obviously she's got to still tighten some things up. Bro, Jade looked fine as hell. I'm just saying, it was what it was. And she is a hell of dude. The things that woman can do, she is a fucking freak athlete.
Yes, dude. The entrance itself, man, was cool. I tweeted that. Like, how cool was the entrance? And her coming out with Kingfish playing the guitar, dude, on her way out, man.
That was bad, dog.
Man, dude. Talk about making an entrance, but the Mortal Kombat gear and all that, dude. Nothing. You can't say nothing bad about that match. You're not going to hear nothing bad from me. That was great to watch. Everything was great about it. Nothing more I could say.
So, what are your thoughts on what we see for Jade going forward, bro? Do you like? Do you think she holds on to the belt for a while, or do you think?
I hope so. I like what they're doing with it. Like, it's kind of got not so much because we all know I don't really care for Goldberg. They kind of got the whole like Goldberg-esque thing, like who's gonna beat her, who's gonna beat her, and they're really keeping track of that record now, 29-0 or whatever it is. They're really putting that on screen a lot. And the commentators are mentioning that record a lot, and I think there's reason for that. I think they're gonna keep building and keep building and keep building and keep building. It's gonna take somebody really good.
Do you think it's somebody in AEW that's going to be the one that gets the dub, or do you think it'll be somebody that comes in? Because I'll be honest with you, I thought Thunder Rosa might have been the one to take it off her, but
yeah, I don't know unless they can somehow work a way to get Britt Baker onto that level. I mean, not saying she's not any good, but
Britt Baker on that level, she's like the biggest star in the women's division. What do you mean?
Right, but I'm saying right now, if you put Jade,
they need to bring in more girls for Jade.
You think if they put Jade versus Britt Baker right now, do you think Britt Baker is going to be the one to knock her off? I don't think that train stops anytime soon.
So I don't know that they run that match for the simple fact that, like, if you notice, for example, like with the TNT title on the men's side, when it comes to the world title, I don't really think that they will run a match with Jade versus Britt Baker right now. Only because I think what they're trying to do is really, and they're doing a good job of it. I think what they're trying to do right now is really build the TBS title as like that secondary title, the way the Intercontinental title used to be in the WWE, or even in AEW, the way the TBS title has become for the men, or the TNT title has become for the men. I think in order to keep that title strong, I don't know that they're going to run like a champion versus champion thing for a while, unless Jade continues on a run where she goes like fucking 50-0 and keeps the belt. And then it's like, okay, well, who the fuck else is there for her to fight?
Right.
I think more likely, more along the lines of what Sophia said, I think somebody will end up coming in from the outside if it hasn't already happened. That would kind of be where I think that kind of
that would make the most sense right now. Yeah.
I think that's the only way to really take that offer, because I think if you run a match champion versus champion right now, I think that would cause a bigger problem, because then it'll make it'll really drive home the fact that that's like the secondary title, where I feel like that title is kind of supposed to be like, okay, she's next up.
Yeah, and why diminish one of your stars when you're working so hard to build them both at the same time?
So I think if she loses it, it's going to be either somebody who comes in or like somebody who's like built like a freight train. So right now I don't see anybody. All right, we talked about the dog collar match. Let's talk about the other female match. And hey, shout out to our friend Thunder Rosa, who we're going to go see her at Mission Pro Wrestling. And speaking of Mission Pro Wrestling, Sophia, I've got a surprise for you on Thursday. Mission Pro Wrestling, all female, all women's promotion. We should have the return of our friend who has been making her way back to the scene. We're going to have the return of our friend, the one who gave me this badass tattoo. You know, I can never turn it towards the camera.
That one.
I can never, that one from
you're 2 weeks in a row on that one, dude.
I know I can't turn it towards the camera. It's bullshit. But yeah, the lady behind the ink. You know what? Show them the damn design, Corey. You got the fucking cup. Shout out to Twisted Tumblers.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, he's got the design. The lady behind the design, the American Kaiju, the Florida ma'am herself, the American Kaiju, Miss Lindsay Snow, will be joining us this Thursday to talk about what she's got going on WrestleMania weekend and her match at Mission Pro. So, I mean, I know me and Devin are looking forward to seeing some women kick some ass. And I am looking forward to seeing Janai Kai in person. So, hell yeah. Mission Pro is going to be badass. I can't wait to get down to Dallas. There's a lot of badasses on that card. I am looking forward to that shit. Like I said, Sophia, you got to make sure you hear it. Thursday at 9. We going to have the American Kaiju. But the other women's match is the lady who is the brains behind Mission Pro. Hey, we sponsored Mission Pro when Dave LaGreca narrowly survived Thunder Rosa the first time. Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker for the AEW Women's Championship. And what were your thoughts, Sophia, on the new AEW Women's Championship belt? It was way better than the original one, hot damn it. Just in my opinion. I really thought that it was a much better belt than the original one. It gave me some Lucha Underground Gift to the Gods vibes on the belt. I liked it. As far as the match, it's everything I thought it would be. I mean, Britt Baker for a long time has been great. Thunder Rosa has been one of the most not underrated, but one of the
the rising stars, I would call her.
Yeah, that would be the word, I guess. Like one of the hottest stars in wrestling, period. And I mean male, female, whatever you want to use. You talk about big stars in the world of wrestling, it's hard to talk in the last 3 years without saying Thunder Rosa is that. I love Britt Baker, but I was a little bit surprised Thunder Rosa didn't get it done. I'm not going to lie. I really kind of thought this might be where she takes the belt off her. J-Bone, what did you think of this match, bro?
Dude, that was a great match. I'm with you on that. I actually, when that match started, I was going for Britt Baker. About in the middle of that match, I was like, you know what? She might steal this one. And it looked like she might at a few points in that match, man. But all in all, great match, dude. And I
literally what I said. Check it out. That's why you need to be following us at KO3C Pod, because I literally fucking tweeted that as soon as they came out with the new belt. I was like, oh man, we got a new belt. We got a hot young contender. Is this the perfect recipe for a new champion?
I hate to say it, dude, because I mean, I don't like to say stuff like this, but like I thought that was going to be the match. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get up and make some food, use the bathroom. I thought that was going to be the match that did it. And when that match started going, I kept my ass sitting right in that seat. Keep in mind, we're like, what, at that point in time, 3.5 hours into the pay-per-view? Dude, they put on a hell of a women's title match. And I agree with you. When I seen that title, I immediately thought Lucha Underground for some reason. That's exactly
I love that. I like that belt, dude.
I like it, dude.
I like it better than the original. I was never really a big fan of the original AEW Women's Championship. It looked like super, super old school, almost too old school for me. So, I liked it. As far as the match, I mean, what can you say, dude? Again, I've said it at fucking nauseum at this point. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker are two of the best, not just females, but two of the best wrestlers out right now. Like I said, it was everything I thought it would be. Maybe it wasn't like as hard hitting necessarily as like the lights out match, but I don't think it's supposed to be. A lights out match is no disqualification and all that for a reason. I'm not mad that it wasn't, maybe a little more of that. Hey man, Britt Baker got another win and she keeps the title. Here's the question. Do you think that she keeps the title until we run into the same kind of situation with her that MJF is running into with Wardlow? What happens when Jamie Hayter finally gets tired of Britt Baker's shit?
Good question.
Because she is a fucking powerhouse. I stick by what I said. Jamie Hayter is beautiful too. And I've said it before. I got a weakness for accents, but just that's besides the point. But what are your thoughts on Jamie Hayter taking the belt off her? What do you think about that, Sophia? You think Jamie Hayter might come for her?
I'd like to see it. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think we still got a ways to go though with Britt Baker, man. She's, like you said, one of the top stars over there. So we got a while.
Yeah, to your point, I think we still got we got her around for a while. In my opinion, she's definitely going to be the reigning one. She's the biggest star. She brings the most eyeballs, in my opinion. A lot of fans, every time one of her matches come on, I always hear DMD. She's all over Twitter. The fans seem to love her. But one thing I did notice with this match is the lovely people of Twitter weren't necessarily as happy with this one as you guys seem to be. Maybe they, to your point, Kyle, maybe they didn't feel as this was as hard hitting as they were expecting, or something along those lines, because it seemed like it got a little bit of the thumbs down on Twitter for what the match was anticipated to be, I guess.
Well, I think because of the lights out match. I mean, think about what we came from there. You know what I mean? That's a tough act to follow, man. And you're really not going to follow it with something like that. So
I agree with you. They got to build Jamie Hayter up, but I'm just saying that, boy, would that be a fucking story. And it was somebody believable to take that belt off her, because Jamie Hayter is a fucking powerhouse, dude. Oh my God. All right. We talked about Mox versus Danielson. Let's talk about the match that really might have been the one that shocked me the most out of all the matches on this fucking card. This is big facts. Twitter is never fucking.
You are not lying.
Hey, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? The forbidden ground. Twitter.
Big facts. She is 100% right with that. All right. J-Bone literally, I tweeted this off the show page and literally commented on it right afterwards. The next match we got to talk about is Sting, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara, who, hey, you can check out chats from StarCast with both of them on the YouTube channel. Hit the motherfucking subscribe button. Anyways, dude, I went in and it was them three versus the AHFO of Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. Dude, with where it was at on the card, I'm like, okay, so this match is going to be 8-10 minutes long, whatever. They fucking fought all over the place.
Yeah.
They fought all over the place. Into the crowd. Sting dove off the fucking balcony through 4 tables.
Yeah.
Dude. Son of a bitch. And what Sophia said, Sammy damn near killed himself.
The Spanish fly, dude. Oh, God.
Bro.
That looked
off the top of the stage thing? What the fuck?
Bad. If I'm not mistaken, he completely missed the first table, didn't he, with that? I think they only went through the second table that they had there.
It looked bad.
Dangerous, dude. Very dangerous.
It looked like it fucking hurt. I'm just going to say. But what were your thoughts on this match, J-Bone? Because I'm not going to lie. I really thought with where it was placed on the card, I'm like, fuck, this thing's going to just be like a quick run through and this shit's going to suck.
Great, man. And I said that, I was thinking that throughout the whole show. I said, there's going to be one of those matches where it's going to be the match that you get up and you're going to make some food and you're going to use the bathroom and all that good shit. There wasn't one, dude. And this is another one. I'm like, oh, damn. Too bad these guys are in this position because there's all this good talent. For it to be right here on the card at this point in time, and it's going to be short and sweet. But they did a lot of shit in that match, dude. Sting coming off the top. That was probably one of the highlights of the night for me, dude.
How is it not?
I love
like she just
Sting
said, Sting is
that.
62 years old and jumped off the fucking balcony through 4 tables.
Incredible, dude. That's something you'll never forget. I'm a Sting guy, so I grew up on Sting. Anything that he does.
All right. We're going to remember that when we get to the other part we got to talk about before we leave. Stone Cold! I mean, that's something to be thought about here.
Definitely.
But I agree with you. I was very much entertained by this match. I was very much surprised by this match. I think the right team won this match. But can we just talk about how good Andrade looked for a minute? Like, bro, the new gear, the new mask, like when Andrade really gets like on his own and they really push Andrade as Andrade, fucking A. Bro, Andrade is a star.
That guy's a star in the making, dude. 100%.
He was a star in WWE. How the fuck they let him go? It's mind blowing to me. I never expected Sting to jump either. That was fucking surprising as shit to me too, Sophia. All right, main event time. I was really wondering how long this match would really go, being the fact that it was the end of it. And again, like we mentioned, it was a long show. Dude, I don't know, man. I got to give credit where credit's due. For this being at the end of that show, Adam Cole and Hangman Page fucking killed it. Yeah. And the Halo gear, damn it. That shit was dope. That shit was dope.
Yeah.
That was my best Halo yawn thing. I need my PR.
We tweeted about it, man. We were worried about the time constraints on the match, dude. For that being at that point in time, 3 hours and 40 minutes into the show? Like, dude, they tore the house down, and the crowd was hot for it too. They stuck around, man. So shout out to those guys. It was a hell of a match. Take all that away, still a hell of a wrestling match, dude. Great match.
How about Let's Go Adam chant? Let's go Adam. Let's go Adam.
I did like how smart the crowd got. And they're, let's go Adam. I was like, oh, okay, this is a good one. Yeah, good job, guys.
If you picked Adam in the office pool, you won the world title match.
Yes.
Adam was coming up money. People were definitely fucking tired, but
oh yeah,
people were definitely fucking tired by the end of that show, dude. Because I
was tired.
I dozed off during that match. Not because it wasn't a good match, but dude, I was fucking tired as shit.
You missed a good one. That was good.
No, I watched it. Please believe I not only went back and watched it, I went back and watched it again. I've watched the whole pay-per-view a couple times here now, especially since I found out I got to get these fucking teeth ripped out. No
shoey for you. No shoey for you.
Joel Bateman, I'm so sorry. I wanted to do a shoey. Why did it have to happen on St. Patty's Day, you bastards? But I guess I guess it's better than Wrestlemania.
Maybe we could replace the shoey with like a light tube or something over the head. You know, no big
whoa! I'm getting 4 teeth ripped out of my mouth, and you want this motherfucker to hit me with a light tube?
You'll be on rest already, dude. You'll be
for the show, bro.
Sophia, do you hear this shit? I gotta get 4 teeth ripped out of my head, and these motherfuckers want them to hit me with a damn light tube.
It's for the show, bro.
I didn't want it to happen until it was, until it was brought up. Now I feel as though it's a pretty good idea,
though, right? I mean, come on.
Okay, so I agree with what you're saying, except for this fact. The fact that AEW only does 4 pay-per-views a year is the reason why I'm okay with the longer shows.
Mm-hmm.
If they were doing them every month, I agree with you 100%. But being that you only have 4 pay-per-views a month, I don't have a problem with them being longer, especially if you can pack them from front to back with bangers. Like literally, that show I feel like didn't have.
There wasn't a bad match
dud
at all.
I'm just saying, like I really don't. There was not one match where I was like, that was okay. Like it really was a good show from start to finish, and all the WWE haters, fuck y'all.
I mean, to your point, the match that J-Bone thought was going to be his bathroom break when he ended up sitting through. So
that's the whole thing, dude.
There was no bathroom break match. I literally sat there,
filled up the bladder that night. That's
shout out to our boy Whip, fellow All Sports All Plays Network host. We gave our boys from Busted Open a nice little present. Orange Whip. Orange Whip. Like I said, we'll have to see if the Orange Whip makes its way down to Dallas. Okay, they should switch it back to Saturday. I agree. If you're going to do that, do it Saturday. But you got to remember, Sophia, as we were talking about earlier, you had UFC 272 with Masvidal. I don't think if they would have ran that on Saturday, though, I don't think they would have done as well. I think it was a good idea to go on Sunday this time, but
I to your point, not to argue real quick, but to your point, I think it would have actually maybe helped because a lot of people have two screens, and if you already got all the boys together and stuff, you know, like what's the reason to not turn it on? I guess you could say, you know. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
I was going to say that's a lot of bread.
A lot of money. 75 plus 50? Do the math there. That's a lot of money.
125? Like that's a lot of bread.
Hey, so the Double or Nothing that we'll be at is on a Sunday night too, right?
Yes, and we're going to be at Rampage too.
And we're gonna have a very tired Monday morning. I tell you that.
Damn right, but guess what? I'm gonna be off that day too.
Yeah, you'll be catching a flight anyway. You'll be sleeping on the plane.
I fly like paper, get high like planes. I mean, Bully, I like that song too, bro. That song still goes hard, bro. That song still goes hard. All right, we have gotten through AEW Revolution, but I promise you, we can't get out of here. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! It's going to be Stone Cold versus KO and this motherfucker at WrestleMania. And damn it, where's my damn thing? You know what? Where are we at here? Let me fucking point it in the right direction. Oh, the light's not showing it. Stone Cold is on my wall. Damn it. I am looking forward, son of a bitch, I'm looking forward to seeing Stone Cold at WrestleMania. How are y'all feeling about seeing Stone Cold? See, not complaining. She enjoyed the show. I feel like it was hard not to enjoy AEW Revolution. But, Sophia, are you any more excited about WrestleMania now that we know that Stone Cold is coming to WrestleMania? Sure. And he said that Kevin Owens is a dumb son bitch for waking up Stone Cold. So I'm just saying, I am here with the shits.
Yes.
No,
see?
What I tell you?
Through,
yeah, that's going to be arguably the best part of the match, in my opinion.
So, Corey.
Not to shit on.
Hold on. I got to ask you this since you brought it up. Now, me and J-Bone were talking about this. Okay, so you got away with AEW Revolution. If you don't go watch WrestleMania with that motherfucker, he was asking
gotta
me.
Watch Mania. I'm not going to be – I don't get to go to WrestleMania this year, so I'll be watching Mania. Well, we're going to be doing it big, so you got to make sure you watch that one. That's for sure.
Hell yeah. As long as the invite's out there, I'll probably be making my trip up there. So.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. It's going to be great. Like, regardless of how this plays out, even if it's not a long match, like, if we actually get a Stone Cold match, even if it's just like 6 to 8 minutes, bro, we have not
they haven't really landed on what it is, right? They never said, like, I'm challenging you to a match. He just said, I'm challenging you pretty much, right? Like, pretty here's much. Your invite to Mania. I wonder what they're going to do with that. It's interesting.
Bro, if we get Stone Cold in the black boots, black trunks, and the vest for one more round after 20 years, hot damn it. If The Undertaker can do it 25 fucking times, damn it. I am okay with seeing Stone Cold come back. I am really looking forward to this. Hot damn it. Here's the question. How much do you think that that's going to increase ticket sales?
Shit. A lot. I would think, right? Stone Cold's probably like one of the, if not arguably the greatest WWE superstar of all time. Can you argue that? I don't think so. It's Stone Cold.
Oh,
Steve
they're doing
Austin.
more Stunner. I think it's going to be a match at this point. But what?
Stone Cold Steve Austin literally molded an entire generation of wrestling fans. An entire era.
He's my all-time favorite, bro. Like I said, that's why. Like I said, go ahead, Corey.
Well, you know, she brings up the promo and stuff that he cut. I was kind of rather lukewarm on it, right? Like we bring up.
No, she's saying he's still great at a promo, not that promo. Yeah. She's saying he's still great at the promo.
Yeah, but I'm assuming she's referring to the big promo that he just put out, bringing out the fact that he's returning at WrestleMania. That's what I'm kind of alluding to here. But
it's like a short
what
film.
I was saying is I was very lukewarm on his return, honestly. When I had first heard about the rumblings and stuff of it and stuff, I'm like, okay, cool, maybe make him have a appearance or something like that, but like a match or something along those lines, maybe not, man. You know, like to your point, it's been 20-something years. He's not a young chicken, you know, he's not a spring chicken no more. But looking at that promo video he put out and stuff, you can see the dude's still in fucking great shape just by looking at like the veins and stuff in his neck. You can tell he's been working to try to get back into that shape, you know, with WrestleMania just being around the corner and now the match being officially announced. So that turned me a little more, you know, the hot water got turned a little hotter, but I don't know still. I still don't know how to feel about it, honestly. I'm excited for maybe like you guys in attendance and stuff. Because, you know, it's always cool to get to see, like, you know, your favorites, if you haven't got the chance to see them, make that walk. But I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it, honestly.
Do you think he rides down on a four-wheeler, or does he take the walk?
Oh no, he's got to take it all in, dude. He's got to take it all in.
He's taking the walk.
Come on, if Goldberg and Sting will be wrestling, we can have Stone Cold back for whatever they plan. God damn it. That's what I'm talking about. See, the right positive energy. Damn it. If Goldberg can come back after he knocked himself out, Stone Cold hasn't been in the ring in 20 years. He didn't bastardize it once he left. He might have come back here and there, but we haven't seen him in the ring like that. And here's the other point I want to bring up. Knowing what I know of Stone Cold, that guy works out like a fucking freak, whether he's, I mean, on TV, not on TV, like that's just part of like that's like his thing. Like that's so like I don't question that we're not going to see him in great shape. And Bubba Dudley said it on Busted Open this morning, which, man, I'm telling you, when I go down there to WrestleMania, I'm shooting my shot. I have to get Bully on the show. But anyway, dude, he said it himself. Steve is in dog ass shape right now. Like, I'm just saying. I'm here for it. Whatever the fuck we're gonna see, I am here for it. You're not kidding.
Hey, what do you think that ramp usually is at WrestleMania? What, 100 yards? 75
Gotta
yards?
be close to it. Especially the one in Orlando. Holy shit. They had to take an elevator to get up to the top where the
that one it came down from the top of the stadium, pretty much, right? Yeah. That's a long walk for somebody who hasn't done it in 19 years.
Look, dog. I'm just saying. There's probably nobody in the wrestling business who could handle a bigger spotlight better than Stone Cold. Just saying.
True. Facts.
Like
facts.
Yeah.
You talk about biggest
stuff. If anybody's earned their right to make their return at any given point, it's definitely him. With as much as he did for the wrestling game. I mean, there's so many people that are current fans that still talk about he's their favorite wrestler of all time. Yeah. So if he wants to, come back and make a splash, especially WrestleMania, hometown, why not?
Yeah. Hey, and honestly, good shit for KO too, because personally and professionally, that dude, he's having the time
is
of his
great.
life to step in the ring with him. And 2, the guy deserves a big spot at WrestleMania, dude. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So give him his flowers because hopefully.
And you got the built-in story. Austin legitimately gave him the stunner. That's why he does the stunner.
Right.
Like, that's legit. He let him use the stunner.
All
that's
positive.
What I'm saying. One can't. That's what the hell I'm talking about. One more can of whoop-ass. I'm with it. Crack that sumbitch open. Drop me a stunner. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Last thing I got to ask you guys about. We don't know what the hell's going to happen with The Undertaker other than the fact that he's going into the Hall of Fame. Do you want to see The Undertaker chokeslam somebody at WrestleMania? If so, who?
Yes, I do.
I got one.
Because of the crowd.
I got an idea. What's the idea?
Yeah, I want to hear the actual idea because mine was just a yes because the crowd would love it. And, with the ceremony and everything that I'm sure they'll do, or at least the feed that they'll roll.
I can't believe they're doing the Hall of Fame the way they are, first of all, but that's a story for another time.
Same.
Okay. Real quick, sorry to interrupt because we didn't get to it on the MMA side. Shout out Khabib for making it into the UFC Hall of Fame as well. Sorry.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, J-Bone, what do you think?
All right, here we go. I'm going into business for myself again. Fantasy booking.
He's got the pencil.
If I wrote it, I would have some way, shape, or form Stone Cold, Kevin Owens doing their thing. Seth Rollins come down, start some bullshit, and Taker make the save. And then at the end of that, you got Taker and Austin standing in Texas in the middle of the ring. Saluting the crowd, doing their thing. Maybe the American Badass Undertaker, though. Saluting the crowd, drinking beers with Stone Cold to set that one off. To ride off into the sunset together, man. How can you book that one any better?
I'm not mad at it, but I'll stick by what I told Devin when we were talking about it earlier today on the phone before the show. Because of the way he went out, it's the same thing for me like the Drew McIntyre title reign. I was so bummed for him to go from winning the Royal Rumble and eliminating Brock Lesnar in front of a packed fucking house to a month later, the whole world shut down. And then your whole title reign was in front of no fans.
True.
The same thing for me applies with The Undertaker. Seth Rollins is probably facing somebody who may return in Jacksonville. Okay. I wouldn't put that past it, but I wouldn't put it past that it may be Taker too, for the simple fact that here's my thing. Like, okay, so we got to see the big thing for Taker when Taker went out. We got to see the match with him and AJ, which was great. But the fact that that was all in front of no fans, like, and that he's getting inducted in Texas. If anybody deserves one more, like, fucking, I wouldn't be mad if it's even something like what they did the last time I was at WrestleMania, or no, that was the time before. WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans when John Cena didn't have a match and they just had him kind of hanging around the crowd and all that shit. Now, I'm not saying have The Undertaker hang around the crowd, but I wouldn't be mad if Seth Rollins just throws one of his Messiah temper tantrums at one point and the lights go out and the Undertaker just comes out and fucks him up. Because let's not forget, the Undertaker's Hall of Fame induction is going to be right after SmackDown on Friday, which that's weird in and of itself because they're selling it in a combo ticket. Like, I've never seen the Hall of Fame not be like its own night, which, especially now that they're inducting Vader, that's a little weird. We'll talk a little bit more on that on Thursday, but I agree with what you guys said. I would really, really like for the Undertaker to have another run. See, Sophia agrees. She said it would be cool. I would like to see the Undertaker get to have his one last moment in the sun because I really do believe that once the Undertaker has this with the Hall of Fame and all that, I really don't think we're going to see the Undertaker anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't. I really don't, because like he's come back so many times at this point for this to be like that nail. Like, I really don't.
And in his last run, I mean, it kind of seemed like that was the nail, right? Like, he made a big thing about it, and he did like the media tour, did like the Pat McAfee show and such, and kind of let more of the personality side out, kind of talked about his whole story throughout his wrestling career and what it meant to him.
And it was
kind
fucking
of
amazing what he did.
Yeah. And to finally, you know, put the quote unquote nail in the coffin of the Undertaker and the, you know, to put the whole character to rest and, you know, to be able to kind of focus more on his personal life and stuff. So I feel as though a run isn't the greatest idea, but maybe a appearance is, you know, more in line, in my opinion.
Yeah. The only thing we were missing was the fans when that was going down, you know.
That's why I'm saying, like, I have no problem with seeing the Undertaker one more time run through somebody, even if it's not a match. Like, I believe if anybody deserves that in front of 100,000 people and in his home state, it's the Undertaker. But we're gonna put a cap on that one there. We've been talking about UFC 272. We've been talking about AEW Revolution. We've been talking about Wrestlemania. It's almost that time. Pretty soon I might be sounding different since they're about to rip all my fucking teeth out. But next week we might be talking like this. But until next week, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll make sure that I don't come back like a slithering snake. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Peace. Make sure you don't miss the American Kaiju this Thursday, 9 p.m. Slithering snake.